Hey, welcome back to Pod&Chill. This is where we slow things down and keep English simple and real. I'm Leo.
Hi, I'm Gwen. Wherever you're listening from, I hope you're feeling comfortable right now. So, Leo, how did today feel for you?
Hmm, to be honest, it was busy. Not bad, just full of small tasks and too many phone checks.
Same here. I planned to rest early last night, but I kept saying, just watch one more video.
But one more turned into many more, right?
That's right.
And somehow it ends up wasting our time. I think a lot of people listening know that story very well.
And that's why today's topic feels close to us. Don't waste your time.
Before we continue, please leave your name in the comments, friends, and tell us one reason you're learning English right now.
This episode is around level B1. Strong beginners can enjoy it too.
We'll explain useful words along the way.
So you can relax and just listen. Because we provide a PDF file, you can review the content anytime and practice vocabulary more easily.
All right, let's slowly step into today's conversation so we don't have to waste our time anymore. When we talk about wasting time, I think many people imagine something big, like wasting a whole day or doing nothing at all, but most of the time, it doesn't look like that. It looks very normal and very familiar, almost too normal to notice.
Yes, it often looks like checking your phone again or saying, I'll start in 5 minutes. Before you know it, those 5 minutes quietly repeat again and again without making any noise.
The tricky part is that nothing feels wrong in that moment because you're not hurting anyone and you're not breaking any rules.
Exactly. You're still doing something. Your eyes are moving. Your hands are moving. So it feels like time is being used.
But later, when the day is over, you sit down and try to recall, and you can't really remember what that time gave you.
That's usually the sign when time passes but doesn't leave anything behind. Not rest, not learning, not even a good memory.
So wasting time doesn't mean you must always be productive or busy. It just means using time on things that are not important and not helpful for you.
Think of time as water in a bottle you carry with you every day.
Oh, can we compare it like that, Gwen?
Of course. Every morning the bottle is full again, but the size of the bottle never changes. During the day, you use that water for different things, for work, for learning, for rest, for fun, and that's all normal.
So the problem is not using the water, the problem is pouring it away without noticing, right?
You got it right. Just a little spill here, a little spill there. It doesn't look serious at all in the moment. But later, when you're tired or stressed, you reach for the bottle and realize there's not much left.
And that's when people think, why do I feel like I had no time today, even though the day was full?
Right. Because the water didn't go into us, it went onto the floor. Time works the same way. If we don't choose how to use it, it slowly goes away.
And you can be busy all day but still feel like you didn't really live that day.
But you don't need to worry too much. You just need to clearly understand the idea of wasting time first. And that awareness is the first step before any change, any plan, or any advice.
And once we understand that idea, it becomes easier to notice something else, the things that quietly steal our time without asking.
Yeah, not big dramatic things, but small ones that feel normal, even entertaining. That's why it's hard to stop these habits. Mindless scrolling on social media is a really clear example of a time thief.
I agree. especially when you're scrolling but not really searching for anything. Your finger keeps moving, but your mind gets distracted.
And it almost always starts with what feels like a good reason, right? You tell yourself it's just a short break, just one thing to check, just a few minutes before you move on.
Exactly. Because you didn't plan to waste time, you just wanted to pause for a moment.
But somehow, without you clearly choosing it, those few minutes turn into 10, then 20. And when you finally notice the time, it's already gone.
What I find really interesting is how different it feels during and after. In the moment, it can feel light, distracting, even enjoyable, like your brain is getting a small reward.
But later, when you put the phone down, many people feel more tired instead of relaxed.
Yes, and sometimes there's that quiet, empty feeling. Something happened. Your eyes saw many things, but nothing important stayed with you.
I know that feeling very well. It's not real happiness. It's more like noise filling the space for a while and then disappearing.
It's like holding sand in your hand and not paying attention.
Hmm, that's a good example. You don't feel each grain falling through your fingers, so it feels like nothing is happening.
But after a while, you look down and realize your hand is almost empty, and you can't really say when it happened.
It's like time slipping away when we scroll without noticing.
And when we finally look up, we feel bad and confused. We ask ourselves, why did I do that again?
And that's usually why people start looking for a better way, not because they want to be perfect, but because they want their time to feel better.
Before we move on, let's take a very short break together. If you can, gently stretch your body and relax your shoulders.
And take a sip of water with us. You can comment and tell us, have you had some water yet?
Also, let us know if you're still here listening with us. We really appreciate you staying.
After this short pause, we'll share some simple but powerful tips, small ideas that can help you keep more time for yourself.
And the first idea we want to share is very simple but very powerful, setting a tiny plan.
I really like the word tiny here, because many people fail not because they are lazy, but because their goals are too big and too unclear.
That's a great point. A lot of learners say things like, I want to improve my English. And that sounds good, but it doesn't tell your brain what to do today.
Right? It's very vague. Your brain hears it, but it doesn't know where to start, so it often does nothing.
I like to compare this to using a GPS. If you open a map and just say, I want to go somewhere better, the GPS can't help you.
But the moment you type in a clear address, even a very small place, the GPS immediately shows you a route. It doesn't care how far it is, it just needs something specific.
And a tiny plan is like entering a clear address instead of a big dream. For example, instead of saying, I want to improve my English, you can say, I will learn 3 new words today.
That's clear, simple, and very easy to start.
And 3 words might sound small, but that's actually the magic. 3 words a day becomes many words without you feeling overwhelmed.
And most importantly, your time starts to feel more intentional. This means you know where it went and why it mattered.
So this first step is not about studying longer. It's about choosing a clear, tiny direction for your time.
Once that direction is there, using time well becomes much easier.
So what if we don't have any real free time in a day, Gwen? Because I know our friends don't want to waste time, but life makes it hard sometimes.
I understand that most people don't suddenly get 1 free hour just for English, but they do have small moments that they often don't notice. I like to call these moments pocket time.
Oh, pocket time? What do you mean by that?
Well, they are not big blocks of time, but small pieces you carry with you. Think about your wallet for a second. Inside, you might have a few big bills, but you also have many small coins.
Ah, and those small coins don't look important on their own. But when you keep them instead of losing them, they slowly add up.
Yeah, we all have small gaps. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Waiting for the bus, standing in line, sitting quietly before a meeting starts.
If you use your tiny plan during those moments, something changes. 5 minutes becomes three new words or one short listening.
What I love about pocket time is that it doesn't steal from your rest. You're not forcing yourself to study after a long day.
That's cool. Over a week, those 5 minute moments become real learning. Over a month, they become real progress.
And once you start noticing your pocket time, you notice your day is richer than you thought.
You also realize that pocket time helps you keep a healthy balance in your day. Now, let's switch the angle for a moment. Instead of talking about time, let's talk about feelings.
Yes, because our feelings, especially when learning, decide if we keep going or give up.
Many people don't notice this, but they treat learning like a punishment.
I hear that a lot. I know I should study English, not I want to.
And when something starts with I should, the body feels like it doesn't want to do it.
Exactly. The brain feels pressure before it even begins.
That's why we like this idea so much. Start small and keep it light. Learning doesn't need to feel serious to be useful.
Leo, let me ask you something personal. When was the last time learning languages felt fun for you?
Hmm. Honestly, when I was watching a movie clip and understood a joke without subtitles, I didn't plan to study, it just happened.
That's a perfect example. You weren't forcing your brain, you were inviting it.
Yes. Because it felt easy, I wanted to hear more, not stop.
This is why connecting English with things you already enjoy works so well. Music, movies, short videos, stories.
Your brain feels relaxed. It doesn't think, this is work.
And when the brain feels safe, it stays longer. Stopping before you feel tired is important too. You feel full of energy, not tired.
When English feels fun to use, not scary to start, it becomes part of your life naturally.
And that gentle approach is often what helps people keep going, especially on days when they don't feel strong at all.
When people are tired, but still push themselves to study or work, there's one thing they often ignore. What do you think it is, Gwen?
Hmm, ignoring when they are tired, is it rest?
Yes, that's it. Rest.
Yeah, a lot of people feel strange about resting. They want to rest, but they also feel guilty about it.
They think resting means you're lazy, or like you're wasting time that you should use better.
Friends, think about it. When your phone battery is low, do you keep using it or do you charge it?
For me, I charge it, of course, because I know it won't work well if the battery is almost dead.
Exactly. Our body and mind work the same way.
When we don't rest, learning becomes slow and heavy. Even simple things start to feel hard. But when we rest, even for a short time, our mind becomes clearer.
And after that, we actually learn faster. Not because we try harder, but because we feel better.
Rest is not wasted time, it's part of using time well. So if you're resting right now, listening to this, it's okay. You're not falling behind, you're recharging.
If you're thinking about leaving soon, we just want to say this. You've already done really well by staying this long.
Even listening is a small step. Let's stay together a little more.
And we will grow a little English knowledge by learning some vocabulary.
We're going to look at some vocabulary you already heard today. We'll take turns like a small conversation. You don't need to write anything down, only do it if you want to.
Just listen and notice how the words feel. I'll start with the first word, intentional. You say it like this, intentional. Intentional means you do something on purpose, with care, not by accident. For example, I try to be intentional with my time in the morning. It means you choose how to use your time instead of letting it slip away.
I really like that word. It doesn't mean strict or perfect, it just means awake and aware.
The next word is vague. It sounds like vague.
And vague means not clear and not specific. For example, I want to improve my English is a bit vague. Your brain doesn't know what to do next.
Yes, vague goals feel safe, but they don't guide you. They leave you standing in one place.
Now let's talk about the phrase time thief. You can say it as time thief.
A time thief is something that quietly takes your time without asking. For example, social media can be a time thief for me. It takes minutes or hours, but gives very little back.
That phrase really fits modern life because a time thief rarely feels bad in the moment.
And the last phrase is pocket time. It's pronounced pocket time.
Pocket time means small pieces of time during the day that we often ignore. For example, I use pocket time to listen to a short English audio. Just a few minutes, but used with intention.
These words are simple, but they describe real life very well. Feelings and habits many of us live with every day.
You don't need to remember everything. Even one word staying with you is enough for today.
Learning slowly still counts, and you're doing that right now.
Before we wrap up, there's one quiet truth I want to remind you, friends. Most of us don't actually lack time. We just lose it in small, unnoticed ways.
And today wasn't about fixing your whole life or turning you into a productivity machine. It was about noticing those small moments and choosing them a little more intentionally.
Tiny plans instead of vague goals. Using pocket time instead of waiting for the perfect free hour. Letting learning feel light and allowing rest to recharge you.
When you put those small choices together, time doesn't feel like an enemy anymore.
If one small idea from today stayed with you, we'd love to hear it. Leave a comment and share the one lesson that clicked for you.
And if you know someone who keeps feeling busy but stuck, please support the channel by liking and sharing this episode with them.
Remember, you don't need more hours in a day.
Small steps still move you forward. And today, just by listening, you already took one.
So, see you again in the next episode. I'm Leo.
I'm Gwen. Bye-bye.